Hey everyone. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, perfect. Right, let's get going. Thank you so much for waiting. Looking angry today, sorry. It was a little bit glitchy. We were just having a few technical difficulties. I hate being late for you guys, but we will go through all of our analysis. Drop in the comments how your week has been. I can't believe it's already been a whole week again. So at the end of this stream, we're going to be doing 5k giveaway to 3 winners. So make sure you stay to the end because we're going to do a complete random, we're going to use a site called YouTube Random Comment Picker so that we can make sure the winner is chosen at complete random, and you'll be able to see that. I'll share my screen with you guys. But yes, so I've only been in 2 trades this week. I did a long position on gold before it did its huge drop, and I was also in a buy on GBP USD, but I've come out of everything now. But let's have a little go through. But I'm just going to read some of your comments. Let's see who's in the chat. There's not very many people here today. Where is everyone? Um, okay, everyone's had a good week. This is really, really good. Really, really good to hear that you guys have had a good week. Let's start by having a look at NQ. NQ is something that I do like to trade, but once I haven't traded NQ for a long time because we've kind of been stuck in this range, which I mean, it is a big range. So let's just do a top down analysis. I'm going to talk you through exactly what I do when I come onto the charts. I actually haven't traded today, so this is the first time I'm actually looking at the chart. So I'm going to literally just take you through everything. Remember to use this time to ask your questions. I know a lot of people always say to me, like, they don't have money for mentoring. Use this time to ask the questions, drop the ego, whatever it is that you're struggling with, make sure you let me know and we can maybe address some of those things. Um, hello, Ninja Te- Te- Technique. Technic. I have trust issues with gold from yesterday. Yeah, gold did a crazy one yesterday. Coming week, gold will retrace. I think personally it will go back to being bullish, but I think it was extending for such a long time that the market just needed to correct itself. So I always like to start on the daily. I don't really start on anything higher than the daily actually, because that's just not where I'm at with my trading. But as you can see, NQ, we've been stuck in this range for a little while. We did have like kind of a fake breakout here, but again, this was a gap. It gapped down like this. So when the markets opened, it just completely gapped down, but then continued up. So from the looks of this, we have broken above this trend line here. So I'm definitely more bullish on NQ right now, but this has been an area that it hasn't been able to break so far. I mean, it hasn't even come to it yet. So this is the first time it's come to it since it was created over this side. So it will be interesting to see if we now actually break above. Let's have a little look. So the fact that we gapped down here and then it continued that move up, I find gaps very interesting because I think these are areas for sure to buy and sell from. So the fact that we kind of came back up to this side and broke back on this side of the gap, again, this could have been a really great place to buy from. And you can see here, it literally tapped in and now is pushing up again. So yeah, I'm very bullish on NQ. Let's have a look at the 4 hour. Let's see what's happening on the 4 hour. We had I think a lot of fundamental things was happening yesterday, and in all honesty, I haven't really actually looked and checked into that because I came out of my trades and that I knew that was it for me for the week. So I haven't been clocking on or really been paying attention. And I would definitely advise for you guys to do that when you are intentionally not planning on trading. Something that I always used to struggle with is was when I had to deal with that impulsive side of me, those moments when you're like, I need to not trade. I would then still be looking at the charts. I would get tempted all of the time. So ever since now, intentionally, when I know I just don't want to trade, I will just not be looking at the charts. So yeah, I'm not too sure what went on yesterday, but I know Trump was speaking. I know a lot of things in the fundamental world was going a bit crazy. So yeah, let's have a look. Okay, clearly broke, I guess, this bit of structure here. So this is interesting. I'm bullish, but what we basically want to see is full on bullish structure. So we broke this low, came down here, created a higher low, but now we've created a lower high. Now we've created a higher low. So right now, on the 4 hour, there's no real indication which way this could be going because 1 minute we're bearish, next minute we're showing potential signs of being bullish again. So when this happens, there's nothing that we can do. We want to sit out. And this is such a big skill for many traders, actually being able to sit out. I know so many people that just want to be in the trades constantly. You know, like the reason why I started to trade multiple things is because I didn't want to be so fixated on one thing like gold and then get really frustrated if a setup wasn't showing itself, because then that would make me just want to get in for the sake of getting in. So let's have a look at some of these comments. Today gold is bearish. I did have a quick look and I think it is bearish. Ninja, any giveaways for new members? It's not like in particular for new members. We're doing a giveaway at the end of the session, and we'll do a giveaway at the end of the session. I don't know, why do I feel like my camera is a little bit off? Not too sure. Am I frozen? Oh no, maybe not. Okay, yeah, so we're going to be doing a giveaway at the end of the session. 3 winners, 5k accounts. But yeah, so right now for me, we're bullish on the daily. On the 4 hour, we haven't made a decision yet. So, we could have bought from this area and got a bit of a move, but we didn't. So right now, as of right now, there is no move for me on NQ. Let's have a look at gold because everyone wants to talk about gold. Hey Mon, how are you? It's good to see you here. But yeah, I am thinking NQ might continue bullish as well. Waiting for Monday moves. Yep, I don't particularly enjoy trading on a Friday. I think anything could happen over the weekend, and unless I'm in a really like long-term position, like swing trade position, I don't really want to be trading on a Friday. In all honesty, what about gold? Yes, we're going to have a look at gold. Krishna, gold hit my drawdown yesterday before I could set SL. Please consider me as one of today. I don't choose the winners. The winners are picked at random. So I can't express. I say this to you guys all the time. I'm not picking the winners. You'll see me do it on the website, that it'll be completely picked at random. But yeah, you just want to make sure you're still here till the very end, because if I call your name out and you don't respond, then we're going to have to give it to someone else. Let's have a look at some key areas on gold. So, look at this. Gold has just been extending. Even though we've had a really big drop, I'm still bullish on gold. Everyone's like, oh no, we're bearish now, but really, we've just been extending for so long. The market does need to start to correct itself a little bit. So we don't have any other daily key zones. We do have some on the 4 hour. Had a bit of an area here and a bit of an area here. So we can see we've tapped into it. The first time we tapped into this key zone, this is why I really, really like key zones. You'll see that gold is actually surprisingly very, very technical, even though it's moved, all things are moved on fundamentals, but a lot of people don't believe that gold is very technical. But if you look at these key zones, we come into that area and completely reject it off. I really wish that I had a buy position here just to have that move, but obviously it has come back down. Gold, even though it doesn't look huge, like this would have been a really big move. Yes, it has come back down, created that higher low. Arguably, this could have been a bit of a structure area because it's a 4 hour, but this is more of the structure area. We've now broken this low, so bearish, but we're having still a lot of rejection. We then came back down to this area here and tapped into this area and completely rejected back off and closed above both these zones. So it's interesting. Everyone's very bullish and bearish, sorry, but I'm still open to being bullish, to be honest. Let's have a look on the daily and have a look and see where the fib retracement is on the daily. Okay, so this is the 0.7, 0.6, our sweet zones. And look how interesting this is, guys. It is pretty much where our key areas are. Key areas are on the 4 hour. So this is the 0.6, this is the 0.7 on the daily. We basically nearly came to touch this before rejecting. But yeah, right now, the 4 hour is saying bearish, but the daily is still saying bullish. So, it's all dependent on how it is exactly you trade. Created a bit of a zone up here. It hasn't come back up here yet. So this is interesting. Be interesting to see where this next 4 hour candle closes. But yeah, I mean, everyone loves these big drops in gold. I personally like to wait for the buy setups just because the higher time frames, to me, for a very, very long time, it has been bullish. Okay, so let's have a look at some of these comments. Quick question to Calm Krishna. I know you said gold hit your drawdown yesterday before you could set your stop loss. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. You didn't set a stop loss. It just dropped. Okay. Huge move captured in silver. Amazing, Depret. 100%. Let's just wait for a clear rejection. Yes, so trading a lot of the time is about patience, which is relatively boring. I know that's not what everyone wants to hear. Everyone wants to hear about jumping in the chart, strategy, trading all the time, when actually, we sometimes just need to wait. We just need to wait for these things. I think gold retraced to 4622. 4622. Oh, wow. You think it's going to be all the way down here somewhere? Interesting. But yeah, if this continues, this downward movement, I would be potentially looking for a sell around this area here. Why? Because this is the area that we broke out of. We've got a trend line here, so we want it to come back to retest and that rejection coming down. But again, it's all about patience, guys. You see how a lot of the times when we come onto the charts and we analyze, that there is a lot of waiting to do before these setups actually happen. So for me to take a sell, I would need price to come back up here to move back down. Let's have a little look. I know some of you, if you were here the last week, I have been using the Ichimoku cloud. Okay, this is interesting. Let me just make sure I have the right settings. Yeah, so right now, quite bearish with these EMAs showing here. They're crossing over, but they're above price. But we still got this quite bullish cloud around, and this is showing the momentum of the buyers. So it's a little bit all over the place right now, in all honesty. Let's get rid of this. I actually already had that there. But yeah, that's where we're at on gold. Wanted to see, if we're taking short-term sell positions, then I want it to come back into these kind of key areas for me. Potentially up there. Something like this. But yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens. So, sorry guys, whenever I go quiet, I'm just showing you exactly what I would be doing. Like I said, today, this is the first time I've been looking at the charts. This is kind of like my thought process, but there's a lot of waiting around. We come on, we start to paint up a picture, but we have to really wait for these confirmations to really to show themselves, because would you rather just be in a trade for the sake of being in a trade, or would you rather stay out of the market and actually focus on making sure the trades that you take are high quality trades? Gold moves are insane. Yeah, you know what? Like I've been trading gold for a really long time. Like gold has been something that I've traded nearly since the beginning of my trading career, which I've literally been trading and dabbling in this industry now for nearly 9 years. So it's been a long time. Everyone's always so shocked about how gold moves, but I never find it that shocking, because I'm like, it has done it before. It doesn't do it maybe as often, these kind of really big moves, but kind of like whenever we are pushing up like this for such a long time, like I always believe the market does need to correct itself. It can't forever just continue up without pulling back a little bit. Gold take only some. Yeah, but I you know what, I love trading gold. Quality setup shared in this session. Real growth happens when you have a transparent partner like ThinkCapital. Oh, this sounds really, really sweet, but I'm ready to take the 5k seed and show what just I feel like that was a bit of a like a what's it, an audition to be the winner, but guys, you're going to be chosen at random, so you don't need to audition. How to manage SL in gold. 100 pip stop loss looks small in current market. Yeah, it is, Maka. Sometimes you have to just adapt to the market conditions, and I'm very visual with my stop loss. I'm looking more into like a very, very technical understanding of where your stop loss should be, because actually not having a strategy around your stop loss is very detrimental to you making money. Because how many times have you set your stop loss too tight, it takes you out and then just shoots your way? You know, how much money have you lost on the table because you haven't had your stop loss in the right place? So whilst everyone is out here always thinking about what is my entry model, what is your stop loss model as well? You know, start to think how other people don't tend to think. Yeah, gold is still bullish. It just had to do correction. Yep, I agree. Might pull back a little bit more. But yeah, I think it's just correcting, fib setting. I don't really have a fib setting. I just like the 0.6 and 0.7 zones. True. Those huge wicks are risks of rejection. Yeah. How to manage stop loss in gold. It's so hard to place. Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't really place small stop loss on gold anyway because I'm trying to transition more into a swing trader. So I'm looking at the bigger picture. So yeah, it looks small, but obviously on gold it's not small. But I definitely want to leave room for gold because it's very wicky. There's a lot of sharp movements, sudden big movements. I think it's very, very important to think about these things. Last giveaway was yes. Giveaway for new members, please. Like I said, the giveaway will be the people who will win will be chosen at random. I'm not selecting them. Let's have a look at Euro USD. Let's start on the daily and work our way down and see what's happening here. So look, this is how nice and easy trend lines. This was one of my earlier swing trades from this month. But yeah, this would have been a really nice position to take. But we kind of broke above here, broke above all of this structure, came to retest the back of here, back of that trend line, and then we just continued to push up. But I'm going to get rid of all of this now so then we can actually start seeing what happened. We had a bit of a move to the downside, but now we can get rid of this trend line because it's just no longer valid. But again, very, very bullish. You know, I think this has a lot to do with the dollar completely dropping down. So let's have a look at the Ichimoku on the actually. Okay, interesting. This is I'm going to mark up some key areas. This area that we broke out of here. This low here is a little bit subjective, but it is on the daily. So this one candle will have a lot of data in it. So we're looking at the daily. Let's see where the fib retracement is going to be taking us. So this is the 0.7 coming back down, nearing this bigger trend line. 0.6 just above our key zone there. So yeah, this whole area is a bit of a maybe a bit of a magnet for price to come back into this area here before then continuing up. So let's have a little look at the 4 hour. It's interesting. We've got a bit of a 4 hour move here. Bit of a trend line going on as well. I'm going to move this actually just to make it a little bit more lined up with the 4 hour. We could probably have a bit of a steeper trend line as well, like this. So yeah, this could make a lot of sense because I'm still pretty bullish that we have a maybe to have our trend line like this, create a bit of a wait till this triangle is exhausted before then pushing back up. So coming back down to this kind of zone here. Oh, you get the gist. So I personally wouldn't want to be taking any sells because the higher time frames to me, like the daily, I really go by, because like I said, I am trying to focus more on swing trading. So I'm looking for those really much bigger moves. I prefer trading with the trend when I'm swing trading. Because yeah, I guess you can see here we're kind of slowly, ever so slightly moving down on the 4-hour. So when this kind of shows a bit of bullish again, or waiting for these key areas to be tapped into, see how they how we react there. Let's have a look at the Ichimoku. So again, we've got this cloud showing there's a lot of momentum for the buyers, and we're quite far away as well from price, which is a good sign for being bullish still. But we've got the EMAs here all in a bit of a tangle. So a good indication, when we come down to this area, if we do start to reject, if we can get the EMAs to be underneath price, then that could be, something that I'm looking at then taking. Okay, let's answer some questions again. Okay. Gold again moved to 4,000. I keep seeing that people really believe gold is like dropping like all the way. I've seen people say that. So I saw someone say that they think gold is going to come back and retest the 2,000 area. I don't believe that. Gold has never gone back down to that extent. We got all of these trend lines. So we got this trend line, which is taking us to back into the 4,000s. Then we got this trend line here, mid 4,000s. And then we got the trend line down here, which is just under 4,000. And to be fair, we have even more trend lines. The biggest the furthest trend line that we have out on gold. Wow. Like realistically, how likely are we coming all the way? Someone literally thinks it is coming back down to here. I saw it on social media. I don't see it happening. 2022, so 5, no, is it 3, 4 years we've been very bullish, and you can see we do sometimes have these drops. I haven't seen it drop like this for a while. We had this kind of back in 2025. This is quite a relatively big move, so we could see something like that again before then it moving up. So yeah, I don't personally think it's dropping back down to 2,000. Gold will continue to move down. Has Muka, how do you know that? Intraday or scalping, what do you prefer? I'm trying not to like do different things on different currencies and different pairs. I'm trying, like, my aim as a trader is to become a swing trader. And that's why I really love the fact that ThinkCapital have brought out the swing trading accounts, because for me, I feel like that is the way that I want my trading to go. So I'll be a swing trader. I started off as a scalper. I was a day trader last year, but this year my goal is to focus on becoming a swing trader. I entered the trade at oh no. Sorry to hear that, Calm Krishna. I'm in a gold short. Amazing. Weren't you on MT5? Should have seen how much the stop loss in P&L. I don't know what you mean, Twilight. going cure. Not sure what that means either. What trades did you take this week? Okay, so I took a buy position. Obviously I'm out of that now. But yeah, my buy position was actually I entered around here and I rode it pretty much all the way up. But yeah, I'm out of this position now. And I also, if I show you GBP USD, I was also in this long as well. This consolidation that was happening here, I entered my buy position here. With this consolidation happening, I chose to come out, even though I guess fundamentally I think that this will still actually keep pushing, but you know, one step at a time. I'm not fully there yet as a swing trader. I want to be, but yeah, I'm very bullish still on this. So let's get rid of that. So this is an interesting area for us to potentially pull back into. Let's have a look at the fib tool. A lot of waiting around, a lot of patience. So these two areas, I feel like I don't think if it does continue up, I'm thinking maybe it pulls back to this kind of area here, retests around this area before then moving up. But yeah, I didn't have it in me just yet to continue holding this, but it was a really, really nice trade. Let's have a look at the 4 hour. Let's see what we have here. So 4 hour. Very similar to Euro USD. And then yeah, we got some areas. This area here, there's quite a few kind of key areas, but I think that's all I'm going to mark up now and just monitor price when it comes back into those areas. Like gold, it was just super overextended. So even though now we are creating a bit of a higher low, lower low scenario on the 4 hour, on the higher time frame, still we're still very much bullish. And just having this shift and going with the bias of the daily has massively changed the way that I trade. Before, I never used to really take the daily into consideration, and in all honesty, this definitely keeps me out of a lot more trades. So again, there's a lot of waiting, there's a lot of boring, because if the daily is saying bullish and the 4 hours saying bearish, I'm waiting basically either until we get big structure broken on the daily, or we wait until the 4 hour turns back to being bullish again. Let's have a little look at these comments. What do you give advice for FOMO problem? Okay, so fear of missing out. This is coming from a place of you're coming to the charts with a lack of. And what I mean by that is, the thing with trading is the kind of secret to trading is not actually doing it for money. And I know that this seems really, really crazy because I know we're all here for money. But when you come onto the charts, and what you focus on every day shouldn't be about money, it should be about your system. How many times have you guys felt that you missed an amazing trade and you're never going to see that trade ever again? The move is never going to be that big. And then the next week you see it again. How many times has that happened, guys? The market is infinite. It will never stop giving you these big moves. So you need to come to the charts with that kind of mindset that you're not missing out on anything. If you miss it, so what? There's going to be another move. But what you don't want to do is just jump in for the sake of jumping in, and you miss the move anyway. So you have to be able to really understand when you're being triggered, and make sure, and I've spoken about this before, we should have a strategy for our entry. We should have a strategy for our stop loss, a strategy for our risk management, but most importantly, we should have a strategy for our emotional management. And what I mean by emotional management is understanding what your triggers are, how to diffuse them, and understand that you should not be making decisions when you feel that way. If you're starting to feel FOMO, if you're starting to feel all of these emotions, you are now you've flipped yourself into like a survival state. So when you're in survival state, you're no longer going to think logically. So you shouldn't be making decisions whilst you're in that state. So you should all have an emotional management strategy. You should all be journaling so that you know the ins and outs of yourself when it comes to trading. Because if you don't do any of these things, then you're never going to get to that next step with it. Cool down. Cool down. I'm not. Did you mean calm down? 9 years. It's a lot of experience. There's a lot of lessons being learned in the 9 years of trading. No bribing. Did I bribe someone? That's what I need to work on. Stop loss. Yes. Yeah, no, not we haven't had as many people on here today. Maybe everyone's out because it's a Friday. But thank you so much for all of you guys who are here supporting. 6,000 pip correlate correction. Yeah, but there was such a big move up that you should I'm not that surprised by gold correcting in that way. I don't really trade BTC. Actually, I want to start looking at JPY pairs, but at the moment I haven't actually started to trade them. So let's have a little look at US and wow, look at what happened over here. Yeah, a lot of stuff was going on in the world this week. Be any views? Okay, let's have a look at silver. I do find that silver correlates a little bit with gold. So yeah, looks very, very similar to gold, doesn't it? I like silver though. I feel like silver is a little bit cleaner, like on the lower time frames, a little bit less manipulative. But when you actually look at gold on the higher time frames, it's not as manipulative as people think. But it's because people like to scalp gold. The pips and everything is one small move is so different compared to currency. So I get it. People like to scalp on gold and day trade on gold. But when you actually zoom out at the bigger picture, it is actually not as manipulative as people think. But when you start dropping down the time frames, that's when you start seeing this manipulation, it looking all over the place. But yeah, so right now it'll be interesting to see how market opens on Sunday evening. So we have this trend line here. Have a bit of an area here. Completely rejected from it. Let's see. Again, this is just arguably a low. Some people would kind of consider this more as a low, but it is a bit of a consolidation period there. So I'm going to have a little look at the fib retracement. So yeah, it's tapped into the 0.7 zone here and then rejected. So really big correction, but it needed the correction. Like I said, like we're literally moving all bullish all the way up here, and this is a daily. So yeah, it looks very, very similar to gold. So if we're looking for sells, I'd potentially either be looking at this area here or around this area here where we broke out of. If we kind of start rejecting from this area, This is again a little bit more of a day trade. We could then look to potentially sell down to here. But yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty bullish on gold and silver in all honesty. I don't really get scared when these things happen, you know. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. I haven't looked at Bitcoin for a while. Where are we at? I don't really trade. I never trade Bitcoin. I find it messy. There's just a lot of periods of consolidation. Like there's here, this is on the daily as well. So like this, I think people enjoy Bitcoin again for scalping reasons. But yeah, I'm not too keen, especially now, like I said, where I'm trying to focus more on the swing trading. It's interesting though. Let's just draw up some trend lines. So this was the original trend line. We've had a whole move out this way. But yeah, we do get some really big bullish moves. Bearish moves in Bitcoin. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. So yeah, it would be really interesting actually. This could be a really good position to buy from for maybe a bit of a long-term position. But yeah, we gotta just wait for these areas. So I know a lot of people always want me to just explain exactly how I trade. Like for me, it's hard to explain it in like one sentence, but I basically trade from key areas. So I have supply and demand on the higher time frames. I have trend lines on the higher time frame. I consider the fib retracement on the higher time frame. So all I'm doing is marking up these key areas, waiting for price to get into those areas, and then seeing the reaction. Using certain indicators, I've started using the Ichimoku cloud to kind of give me a bit of an idea. So if we right now is looking quite bearish, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we do start to reject when we come back down to this trend line. Let's see if we got any other questions. It will definitely be a very, very interesting week next week. Gold is proving my gut feelings wrong every time. Underrated clips. The biggest bit of advice for you when trading gold is to stop having predictions. Stop letting your ego get in the way of you making money. So many people I hear are constantly like, it has to do this, it has to do this, I thought it was going to do this, I was wrong. And it's like, if you just don't if you come to the market, have zero expectations, have zero bias from like your the person from the personal side of things. You come on, you see what it does. Don't be surprised when it does crazy things, because it just does crazy things, because you have to understand that there's a lot of fundamental drivers happening in the world right now. There's a lot of politics stuff going on. Trump's doing his stuff, and tariffs and uncertainty in the world and corruption. The list goes on, guys. I don't want to scare you. But if you can understand this side of trading and again, I have been guilty of this, of being purely technical. And I think when you're purely technical, yes, you do get a bit weirded out when price does stuff like this, when actually you have to understand that the technical side of things is only a reflection of what is going on in the world. What is, there's a huge driver with fear, with speculation, with different things correlating, like there's a huge correlation with got silver and oil and stuff like this. So I think I personally, and it's taken me a while to get to this, but I think in the long run, if you really, really want to stay profitable, I think having an understanding of the fundamentals is going to benefit you massively. You're not going to be as impulsive because you understand why the market is moving, but you also understand that the technicals have nothing to do with the market, really. It, like I said, it's just more of like a footprint, and that's why I'm never really that shocked when you see stuff like this. But yeah, so on the daily, okay, we've had a clear drop down, breaking all of this structure. So technically, on a technical side, we could be bearish right now, but we also have a trend line down here. So again, we could just be kind of correcting, come down to here, then continue back up again. So I know the Japanese yen is kind of falling. Again, there's a lot of fundamental sides to that. So it's a very interesting, it's a bit of a minefield, a bit different. But yeah, right now, I'm going to just mark up some key areas on this pair here. So again, this is why I just really love marking up the key areas, because you'll start to see, like, we respect a lot of these areas, especially if we haven't already tapped into it. Let's see. Oh, we kind of already did tap in there. Well, we have come back down to it. Kind of gapped here. This was kind of like the proper structure area that we kind of broke from. Let's get rid of this. And that huge kind of drop here. But yeah, it was a very, very sharp drop as well. So again, we could just correct a little bit before moving down. Not too sure if I think it's going to go all the way back up there before coming back down. I feel like it could come to this will be definitely an area of interest for me to sell from, because like I said, we have a trend line down here. So it's kind of like a good enough move for me to potentially take. But yeah, we just gotta cross that bridge when we actually get to it. We've had a little look at BTC. Like I said, I've kind of looked at like way on a bit much bigger, but BTC isn't really something that I look at massively, so I don't know a lot about the way that it moves. Still bullish 2000. Gold will drop more. Yeah, I see it kind of moving down a little bit more, but like I said, overall, I just think it's correcting. Anything is possible based on current situation. Yep, definitely. Or it should come for 2008 resistant lows. Buy the dip. Yeah, gold is definitely being interesting. BTC is definitely looking ugly. That every time I look at BTC, I'm always like, I'm not sure about this. And I think if you sit there and you think, I'm not sure about this, that's your sign that you shouldn't be trading it. I like trending markets. I don't like it when it's super choppy. But yeah, I'm really enjoying swing trading. I've only taken 4 trades this whole month, which is insane. What hurts more, big loss or missing the entry? Calm Krishna, neither of them should be impacting you in that way. If it is, then you got to dig deeper. You can't just be like, oh, okay, oh well. And the same shit is just gonna keep happening. um, Definitely, if I take a big loss and I've broken my rules, I'll be upset. But if I've just taken the thing is now when I take a big loss, because I am quite controlled compared to how I used to be, I already know what I'm going to lose if I lose a trade. I don't take a big loss. But missing an entry, I'm over it, guys. It's been nearly 9 years in this industry, and like I said, the amount of times that I have thought, oh my god, I'm never going to get a move like that ever again, and then it just happens like the next day or next week. I've seen it happen too many times now. And if you start becoming aware of these things and addressing them instead of just ignoring them, then you'll start to kind of talk sense with yourself, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm going to share my screen quickly for let's swap this. Stop screen. I don't know if this was the right one from last time, but I'm hoping. This video doesn't have any comments. That's so strange. Right, this obviously we can't use this. Let's try this. Anything goes. Let's go. Oh no, why is it saying 0? Oh no, I don't know why this isn't working. Everything's saying 0. I can't remember what platform I used last time. I tried to go on my messages and let's try this one. Let's have a little look. Why is it saying that there's like no comments? I don't understand. Right, let me just quickly go on to this is the last time comment picker. I don't know what one I used the last time. Right, I am. How do I get the link for this live then? Share, copy, platform pick. I don't know. Let's try this one. Number of winners. Oh gosh. Try again. It's not working. We can host a giveaway in the chat if we don't find a solution. I don't know why it's not working, because there's lots of comments. It just keeps saying no comments found. Last time there was yeah, I honestly don't remember what okay, what is that? Oh, okay. Can you see we Sky is in the comments. Let's do a quick Q&A. First to answer wins. Okay, so maybe let me just try this one last app. So yeah, this was the one. Yeah, okay. This might be a little bit easier. And then we can, there we go. 3 winners. There we go. Okay, start. Let's go. This way, it's just a lot easier because I've had people trying to ruin it for everyone and change their username to try and trick me into thinking that they were the winner. So this way. Okay, so I'm just gonna have a little look in the chat to see if you guys are still here. FX Capital. FX Capital. Because oh gosh, I can't pronounce that. I'm sorry. Yes, okay, we got two of the winners here. Congratulations. I can see both of you. So we're waiting. Oh yes, we've got our 3 winners. Congratulations, guys. Thank you so much for coming to the live today. And as you can see, I didn't pick, guys. It was completely random. I'm not the pickers. So the way that you guys can get access to your account is you either message on Andre on Discord, take a picture of the screen right now so you can send it over. And then I'm going to quickly take a screenshot as well so no one can trick me again. So you either message Andre or if you're following me on Instagram, you can message me on Instagram. It's Doey Trades. It's the one with the blue tick. Send over your email, but make sure you have already registered to the ThinkCapital website. Thank you so much for jumping on and all of your support. I will see you guys next week. Thank you.